Hi, my name is Chris Beausoleil. I live at 126 Croydon Avenue, Croydon Park, a suburb of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. It's 6:39, and it's December the 14th, the 12th month, the 14th day, Wednesday. So I want to talk about, today I want to talk about, the majority of the things I talk about are Anglican Church, and I live at 126 Croydon Avenue. The building is majority owned by the Anglican Church. That it's used to house more theological Bible college students, and many of these students are in a very tight-knit, secretive group that practice highly advanced computer attacks, cell phone monitoring and attacks, and manipulations of computers and computer networks, personal devices. They've been attacking us since 2013, and even though they deny it, all evidence suggests that they are the origin of the attacks. They have it's very, very intricate, sophisticated attack techniques. They have deniability. They have systems of distraction. For example, they have methods where they will attack with one person, and then they'll have other people distracting and making noise over there, and then when you confront them about it, they say, well, how do you know who did it? It could have been anybody, where there are people walking around. So you see, their method is, even when you show them specific evidence, they deny it. Like, I put up a video on, I said harassment, that they denied it. So I put up a video of the property manager harassing, and his head utility guy harassing at my door, standing at my door, harassing me. It doesn't matter. Even if you have physical evidence and physical proof, it doesn't matter. The fact of the matter is that lots of physical evidence they delete and they destroy and they tamper with, because they can access all of our computers, all of our phones, and they can do anything they want with them. They can tamper with dates. They can tamper with image names and files. They can rename files. They can delete files. So I don't as a matter of fact, it's not a question of what they can attack, it's a question of what they can't. So I took the battery out of this phone and I turned it off. When I turn the phone back on, it has the date, Friday the 1st, January, and it's 11:02. It's 11:14 now because it's been a bit since I turned the phone off, okay? But when the phone turns on, it's 11:02. Now, this is the second time I did this morning. I think I'm going to sneeze. Excuse me. Oh, crap. I feel like I gotta sneeze. This is the second time I turned this on this morning, okay? The first time I turned it on, I noticed something different. Now, what I want to talk about is, this is the second time I turned this phone on. The first time I turned this phone on, the date was different. I just showed you the date, and the date is Friday the 1st, January 2010. If I go into calendar, it will say 2010. So January the 10th, and the date is Friday the 1st, or pardon me, January 2010, Friday the 1st, the first day. So it's the first day of the first month, January 2010, and the date is always 11:02 when I start up, okay? Now, they've been screwing with the phone, and they're testing how to make changes persistent. What I mean is, the last time I turned on the phone was just a few minutes ago. When I turned the phone on that time, I'm going to show you, no, I don't want that. The time was different. What was the time? Well, the time was, that's not it. The time was Saturday the 2nd, January 2010 at 6:54. And, this was after I finished the video, but I started the video and it was about 6:21 or something like that. But the fact of the matter is I turned off the battery here. I pulled out the battery, and this was the time. So this was not the proper time it is now. When I turn the battery out, it should go to default time. January 1st, 2010, 11:02. That's the factory time. That's when it should go. When I pulled the battery out this morning and I turned it off, when I turned the phone on for the first time this morning, the battery was Saturday the 2nd, January 2010 at 6:21. or something like that. 621, 6 something. Now, I think why are they doing this to the phone? I don't know, but it shows that they can make persistent changes to the phone. They can make persistent changes, changing the way the operating system acts and how the phone acts when the battery is removed. That means they can make persistent changes even when batteries are removed, and that's what they want to do. They know I'm removing the battery, and they want to make persistent changes. They're accessing this video right now as I watch probably, and so they know that what they're doing is successful, and that's what they do. They make an attack, and then they monitor my response. So here, the video I made this morning, was right, okay, here. So I'm just going to go through and show you a few parts, and show you how it was different. Did you hear that? They're squeaking on the stair. They're trying to be quiet. I'm serious, they're psychotic people. There's something wrong with them. He got up when I got up this morning at 3 o'clock. I heard somebody walking around. And just as he got up, someone else walked by outside, turned the light on. Like I said, deniability, right? And they communicate like that all the time. If he wants to attack the phone, even if it's 3 o'clock in the morning, somebody will walk outside, somebody will walk by, or somebody will bang in the back to show that they're up. And that's their deniability. They work as a group. They're like a terrorist. So, anyways, I'll just open it with Explorer. And hi, my name is Chris Boss. What I want to do is I just want to go through and I want to show you. So you see the time at the top of the video is 6:24. I just want to show you that I removed the battery here, and yet times were made which were persistent. And that's what I want to show you is that, and they're not consistent. What I mean is that the first time I started the phone, I pulled the battery and it said January the 2nd, 2010 at 6 something in the morning. The second time I pulled the battery after I did the video, I pulled the battery again, and then it said January the 1st, 2010, which is the proper one. That means that while I was watching this, making the video this morning at 6 o'clock, somebody was up tampering with the phone. Somebody was accessing the phone and tampered with it and changed it. Otherwise, it would have restarted with January the 2nd, don't you think? What changes the default time? That's my point, is that they tamper with the phone, that they're connecting to the phone and they have access to the phone and they can do anything they want to it. Anything they can. I'm sure that maybe they've even changed the recovery system and put their own system on there so that even if I hit factory recovery, it recovers to the system that they want, that suits their agenda. So here I'm just going to flick through this. I live at 126 Croydon Avenue in Croydon Park, a suburb of Sydney, New South Wales, Australia. It's 2016. Very hot. And the Anglican Church, since we've really enjoyed that they do, deleted all my discs in there and uploading to YouTube this. Okay, so what I'm going to talk about here is MediaTek battery warning. That's why I take the battery out, because they put this MediaTek battery warning on. A lot of times it's with this MediaTek battery warning, and as you can see, I'm uploading to YouTube a video, and see, I've got the writing there, and I was writing. They deleted all my description field, and when the MediaTek battery comes on, you can see it right above the MediaTek battery there, the description field I'm writing in it. Well, the Media Battery Tech warning comes up and it steals the screen. So it's very, very difficult to type. I mean, to type 30 characters takes 5 minutes because the Media Tech battery warning comes up. So what they do is they bring they start this application. It's a MediaTek application. It's called battery warning. They stop, start. It makes the battery get really hot and it drains the battery down. Right here, it's at about 78 or 80 something percent, and by the time I finished, it was down to 58. So it dropped 40% in as well. The basic thing is they want to control the phone. Okay, so that we'll go here is what I was talking about. I uploaded this video, so unless they edited it and changed it, because they've got access to all my accounts because they know my passwords. There's the date, Saturday, 2nd January, and that was this morning. So you see that it said January the 2nd this morning. They accessed the phone and they did something to make it January the 2nd. So why are they doing this? Well, except other than being pricks, and they want to show that they have total control over the phone, and he wants to be a dickhead and harass me and try to instigate me into anger and maybe a public display of what maybe a public display of that he can catch on video or witness and have me accusing him of something, and then he can just justify a certain position against me or justify having us evicted. Maybe that's it. But I think what it really has to do, because this was on all of the attacks, on all of our phones, like I said in the other video, on all of our phones. This was an attack on the E71, on the Nokia 1520, on the BlackBerry we had, and now on this ZTE Android phone. And by the way, don't buy ZTE. It's crap. You can't do anything with it. The MediaTek is horrible. Don't work with MediaTek. Don't buy televisions, smart TVs with MediaTek chips in them. MediaTek is really bad. I have no trust in their applications and no trust in their architecture at all. So anyways, in their processors that they make, I think they're horrible. So anyways, here, and that MediaTek battery warning is a perfect example. So the main thing that shows you with the dates and the varying in the dates is that when I take the battery out, that should be the default time of the phone, but it's not. At January the 2nd, 2010, that is showing that they're interfering and manipulating the phone and tampering with the phone, that they have control over the system. And that the fact that that was the first time I removed the battery and started up the phone, the first time today. The second time I started up, and it was January the 1st, as it should be, as you saw when I started up the phone. Now, when I shut down the phone, the date was, when I shut down the phone, the date was, I took the screenshot just before I shut the phone down, and that was the time just when I shut the phone down at 6:54, Saturday the 2nd. When I turned the phone on, it was right, not 11:02. It was that was it when I turned it on, 11:02. And the date was today. So obviously it's very clear to me that they can access the phone anytime they want, and they can manipulate any part of the phone, including firmware. I don't know how they're doing this, but for example, if I go into settings, and I don't know how they're doing it, but I know they're using very, very advanced attack techniques. Here is download manager, and it's 68 kilobytes. I haven't downloaded anything. And what's being downloaded at 68 kilobytes? Right? I don't know. I clear it, and I stop it, and 52 kilobytes. So are they using download manager to drop payloads onto the phone and then installing them? That means they have access to the phone. So how are they doing that? Because my wireless is always off and my Bluetooth is always off. So how are they doing that? anyways, this is what I'm talking about. I think that these people are using advanced attack techniques, and I think they're being trained by the Australian government. They're consistent. They're always the same across platforms. They vary to different degrees, but you can tell it's being done by the same person. And they're extremely aggressive and with no care to your phone, to your property. So now this phone is destroyed because they've tampered with it to the point where it's completely corrupted, and they've done this with all of our computers. They've done it with a Lenovo. All of our computers have been corrupted, and we have several laptops and several phones that they've broken, and they've wiped out Nokia 1520 that won't start now. So basically, this is complete harassment. This is like abuse and bullying, and this is criminal behavior, and I would call it criminal. I would call it criminal. Violent criminal behavior. It's not just harassment, it's violent and aggressive, intentional criminal behavior. And they've been doing it for years and years. And it's not just Games Fulfully in the unit next door. You might be hearing him creak. It's not just his wife. They're friends. Dos File is a student minister at the same church Premier Baird goes to. Premier Baird is the same. They all think it's they're all from the same cloth. They all have the same attitude, and that is that they are the only ones that know the truth, that everyone else is screwed up and nobody else knows what God wants, and that they have the way, and that they have the answers to like a happy and honest, full society, and that they're going to do what they want. So I think that they're using computers and control over devices to attain their own results, and to bring to fruition their own agenda. So the Anglicans, Presbyterians, Baptists, with a relationship with the Australian government, a church state, training students here at Moore Theological Bible College to execute highly advanced, sophisticated attacks that are repeatable, and learning from the attacks that they've done on us and passing them on to other people so that they can commit it on other people in other places and all over the world. They can steal anything they want from the phone or a computer. They can plant anything they want on the phone or computer, and you can't tell they're there because they don't leave any evidence except for what they want to show. So thanks for watching, and have a good day.